Good afternoon, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me because I did check my sound and I did get the bars. So good to see you all. Let's go back up here and see who has come in. Chad Tomlinson came in. Then Guess Who Nancy. And then Karma at Lewis Acre Farms. And Nancy at Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha-Gal with Nancy. Hello, everyone. You know what? I think I need to do something. And there we go. Next time you chat. And there's Joy Bartlett. No, you're not late. You came in when you needed to come in. That's what. And next time that Nancy types, she's going to be having a blue wrench. And Jane Doe, thank you for coming in. Yes. Yeah. So, yes, Nancy is my best friend. She helps me do a lot of things that I wouldn't do. You know, I get a little nervous, and I'm just going to be honest. Doing this makes me nervous. Coming on my own live and talking to people because there's nobody here to talk to me, but it's okay. I'm getting used to it. And, Chad was talking about one of the hats that I sent him, and yes, it is going to get cold, Chad. It will. You will be able to use that hat that I made you. Right now, it's kind of hard to be able to show this, but I'm going to show it. Everybody knows that I made those. Yes, please smash the thumbs up. These Santa hats are getting sewed right now. These ones are going to, this one is for Scotty at, Lone Cross Scotty and Karen on Flash Ministries. They asked me if I would make them some, so I am. This is a different color yarn. I did a kind of an off-white with white on this one. So I just took this off of the loom that I have over here. And I'm going to do a little surprise today. I'm going to start working on a hat. I'm going to put this away. I'll show you the other. Hi, Vera at Vay's Place. Thank you for coming in. I will show you the other one for Karen at Flash Ministries. If you look at, I know it's all sea of white, but this yarn is a very textured kind of yarn that I found. And here's her hat. Hers is almost finished also. But what I used was I found this yarn. See if I can get it to focus. It's kind of as you can see, very different. So I used that and this sparkly, let's see here. It has sparkles in it. Thank you, Jane Doe. Jane Doe doesn't know what I'm about to start doing. I'm going to start on making a reversible hat with this yarn. You guys are going to get to watch me do that. I figured this would be a nice time. This one's going to be a little bit thinner. This is a 3, let me see here. It's this yarn. It's a Lion Brand Medela. And it says that it's a 3. Yes, awesome. I was feverishly trying to get done with getting the Santa hat off of this. And I did. And was able to start sewing it. So, when you're making, hold on a minute. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen. This is a reversible hat with a 4 weight yarn. And these are the picture of the thumbnail of the hats that I made. This one is made with a wool blend. And this is the one that's a reversible hat. These hats take me about 3.5, 4 hours because you have to do 100 rows for these. So I'm going to put this on and I'm going to probably take it right back off because it's going to be warm. These ones are not going anywhere. I made these ones for myself. And that's the reversible one. This is the regular style that I do. And you can see that this one's a lot lighter because it's just a 4-ply. And then, of course, you do the 16 rows and then you bend over that first one and make the band. And then 26 rows. So that's this one. Now you guys are going to get to see. Now, I have not knitted on knitting needles in a very long time. And I had never, ever knitted a scarf on knitting needles before either. This is my first ever scarf, and you guys are going to get to see this thing. What's really interesting is the pattern that's on this side, what it ended up doing. You see the X down there? There's also a picture, if I can find it, of something that looks like a fox. If I can find it on here. There it is. Kind of looks like a, yeah, that is, thank you, Jane Doe. But yeah, this one, so first time I ever made my first scarf. There it is. Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah. I figured, hey, I need to keep it. So if there's anybody that wants scarves made, I now know how to do it. So this is the, wow, those are warm. If it gets really cold this winter, I'm definitely not going to be cold. But I'm going to put this up here. You put it on the peg, and then you wrap behind, and then in front of this one, and then behind and in front. You keep doing this because to be able to close that hat, you have to have a drawstring. unroll there. So you just hook back and forth until you get back around to the front. Hey, that works out pretty good. This is also how you do the scrubbies too. And then you see how that is now? It's just every other one. And now I will do the regular E-wrap that I usually do. Then when you hook this over, you're going to do every other one because there's nothing in front of one of them. And that's how you're able to close these hats up, because you have that drawstring. Like I said, there's a total of 100 rows to making this type of hat. This one's going to be a little bit looser, not as hot as the 4-ply. And that's why I wanted to finish that Santa hat so I could start working on this. Now, where's my little hook? I know I brought it. There it is. So then what you end up doing is you hook the ones that are over in front. You're going to put those on the back side now. There we go. And I just keep working this until I get to 25 rows. And then what I end up doing is, once I do that, I use one of my stitch markers to be able to keep count, so that when I get to that 100, then I know I can take it off. So what I'm going to end up doing is that I'm not going to finish this hat until I go live next time, and then I'll work on it some more. So you guys are going to get to see the whole process, because to do these, it would be a 4-hour live, and I'm not doing a 4-hour live. So now you wrap it again, and then every single one will be pegged over then. When you do these on the looms, you've got to make sure that the loom is an even number of pegs. Because to be able to wrap, you have to have even number. And there is Yarn Works by Linda. Thank you for coming in. I am making I used to call them inside out hats, or a reversible hat. Hi, Possum Junction. Thank you for coming in. I'm making one of the, it's a lighter weight. This one's not going to be as heavy because it's a 3-ply. It's so different when you see the, the name that you have on your channel with the @ sign there. So yeah, I'm going to kind of get started on this reversible, and figured, hey, get the Santa hats partially done and then work on this. So you guys get to kind of watch me do this. It feels a little strange to just be doing this with a 3-ply, but because of the hat being kind of like doubled, I don't like the @ then for the channel. Yeah. And hi, Ben's Over Acres, or Barb. I know who that is. That's Barb. So good to see you. Yeah, and there's some channels that have it as their name. So their name is coming up with the at thing. I'd rather it be the other way, but YouTube's got control of what they're going to do. But I did want to let you guys know that I still have some Santa hats and the other hats left, that if you do want to help me out and my brother, you can email me. I have some of these people's addresses in here, but I sent my sister out in Washington State, purchased 2 of my hats and 4 of the coasters, as I'm calling them. So those are gone, but I can make more coasters. Thank you, Jane Doe. The Santa hats that I have, I'm not sure. Let me see. There's 6. I think I have 5 left of the men, and I think 4 left of the ladies. And then I still have all of the other regular beanies for sale. You know, the ones that I had, that I showed. I have those and things. The Santa hats are usually, price tag is $45, but I've brought them down to $35 because they are shorter hats. And in fact, the Santa hats that I made for Karen and Scotty are even shorter. I ended up, I think I finally have the length that I'm going to start doing for them. I'll show you this real quick. Remember how I did 15 rows? Well, this is a 13 row. I'll show you where this thing ends up because I even shortened this one. It's now going to sit here because the other ones were down further. These ones are definitely going to be a little shorter because I've even shortened this one, where this section is 13 now, which made it less than 3 feet long. So I'm probably, with the Santa hats, I'm going to probably do that pattern from now on instead of with the 14. Because on the long knitted hats that you put around your neck, there's the white or whatever color you're using is 30 rows. And then you do 15 rows and then 14 up to 5. You know, so it makes it a lot longer, those other long type hats. And I wanted to find out the length that would be best for making the Santa hats. Hi, Linda. Yes, you did. You caught a live today. Thank you for coming in. I'm working on making a reversible hat. I will not finish this today, and I'm going to set it to the side. And when I go live next, you guys will get to watch me make this hat completely. That's what. And then be able to take it off. Okay. Yes, they are in certain areas. They're called toques. I call them a beanie. My dad called it a stocking cap. There's lots of different names to call these, but this one will take 100 rows to finish, and I've just started on it. You know, so it's going to be a little bit lighter weight because this one is a 3-ply yarn, and the brand on it is a Lion brand, Medela. I picked it up at Walmart. Now I want to show you something here. You see the colors that are on this? That's all the colors that are in that ball there. So, yeah, that's it. I definitely really like this, and I figured these would make some nice lightweight beanies for people that are not in such a cold climate as I am. And I still think this is going to be warm enough, you know, for people's heads and keeping them warm. Yes, I am making a reversible hat right now, and it takes 100 rows to do that. Thank you, Jane Doe. You see how open that is? But when you reverse it, and you have, you know, one on the inside, one on the outside. Yes, and if you want to drop your links, like she said, type yarn in the chat. And if you want to know what your weather is, type weather. Now, I found out something one time when I typed weather and then the city that I live in, it brought up another state. So I now put in, let me do this. Enter. There we go. There we go. It says weather for Hallsville is conditions is mostly cloudy with a temperature of 48 Fahrenheit, 9 Celsius. The wind is blowing from the south at 5 miles an hour, and the current humidity is 92. It is probably raining. Usually each section takes me about an hour to do of 25 rows. We'll see how this goes. Franklin, your temperature is 57 or 14 Celsius. Wind is blowing from the west at night, 7 miles an hour. And current humidity is 48. That is great. Tell you, it's a little weird feeling how light this yarn is, but I do know that because of doing this as a reversible, I still think this hat's going to be warm, even though it's a 3-ply yarn. Get this wrapped around here. Try not to bang this on here because that makes it a little noisy. There we go. There we go. So yeah, this is just, it's considered a knit stitch on these knitting looms. See how far I can get on this and let you guys kind of be able to see the different colors that are coming up on this. And it's going to be very, definitely very pretty. Very nice. Got lots of different colors on this ball of yarn. Right now it's, looks like it's got a teal, dark teal green underneath that gray. Thank you, Jane Doe. I have some other of this three-ply yarn that I'm going to use it as making these reversible hats. Take that paper out so it doesn't get tangled up in there again. If you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat and I'll answer anything. Got to keep an eye on being able to get this over and definitely makes it, you know, because I'm so used to having the thicker yarn in my hand, this is feels a little strange. Because usually when I made my hats, I would put a 4-ply and a 3-ply together. What size loom for which hat? Well, this loom is a, let me count the pegs. I don't have my tape measure with me. Because of it being a knit type hat, wish I had my tape measure, but I don't. The pegs on this one, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. This is a 36 peg. Another one that I have is a 48 peg. There is, of course, a larger size loom than this that has a lot more pegs on it. usually what I have found when I first started making the knitted hats that were like this on this loom, you would do 14 or 16 rows on this one. And then you do 25 rows on this. You've got one of the smaller rectangulars, oval shape. I can't recall what the other ones is. How do you know the size of the hook to use? Well, it's just this hook. Because what you're doing, if you see here, there's a slit here that you just pull that over. Hi, Christy Betts. Thank you for coming. Now there's kits of these looms, and this, I'm trying to think what brand. I don't see a maker's mark on these, but these come in 4 different sizes, where there's a 24 peg, and then there's another one that sits in here, and then you've got the yellow one that sits there, and then you have the green, and then you have a yellow one that's a lot bigger. And I think that the size of this one is like a 9.5 or 10, because I know that the 48 peg that I have, this one will fit inside of it on my purple loom that I have. And I also picked up some ones that you can make yourself, that you put together and then you do every other one. The only thing it doesn't have is it does not have this to attach to the outside. I haven't made a hat on that one yet, but I'm going to practice doing that and see how those work. You know, it's the hook that comes with this one. This one was a double and it broke off. And it keeps because of some of the ones that I have that are shorter, I was constantly banging my knuckles. Rectangular oval make. I have yet to use it. The rectangulars are used for making scarves, but the learning how to go back and forth on that type of looms, I haven't learned how to do that. That you taught me, and then you changed to this size. Well, because these are a longer hat, and if you use the 48 for those, they stretch out too much because you're not putting this band on them. See, when I make these hats, I'm using the 48 peg. You know, when I make the ones with the little band on them. This hat I used on my 48 peg. And to me, it seems this one's not so loose, because when I'm making these, using it on this smaller loom, it doesn't stretch out as much, but it's still going to fit people's heads because of this one being where I'm making the, like this, where it's the reversible kind. See, when I tie this together, as you see, this doesn't come apart because I tie that yarn together. So you can make this long tube with this one, but I chose to tie it at the top together and then put the yarn in. So if you look at this, when you turn this, if you want to turn it, hi Nisi, it's exactly the same on the other side. So I went with this smaller loom because of the lightness of this. It's going to not stretch out. Yes, the colorway on this one is going to be that. But of course, I'm not going to be using all of this yarn on this hat. I will probably make multiple hats with this. Have that size. Yes, it basically, this, like I said, this is a 36 peg. You know, it's smaller than what the other one is. Now I can go ahead and remove that. See what this, now I'm going to show you a little bit of this. See what this does? This one is going to be able to pull and make this smaller where I can join those together. And of course, this is going to be a much lighter hat because it is a three ply. Just make sure when you use these looms that you are using one that is the same, you know, it's an even number on the pegs when you're making these reversible hats. Because if it's uneven, then it won't work. And of course, these pegs are much further apart than what my 48 peg is. They're much closer. I think they're like 5/8, and this one is a whole lot further apart. And what's really nice is you'll be able to come back. The thing that, Linda, the thing that I haven't really stressed that here, but as you see, I have looped every single peg. And what I have found is that people will wrap and they'll think they haven't missed one, but they have. As you can see, I have gone all the way around on every single peg. And I'm always making sure that there is one in front before I pull that one over. That's how you get drop stitches. You've got to loop every single peg and then anchor it. That is one thing I'm going to definitely stress to people, is that wrap every single peg when you're doing these. And if you don't see one in front of it, you have to unloop it. Don't do this one first, you know, the very last one, so you can undo that and then rewrap. It's just little things like that with the making these hats that I always make sure that, of course, with the Santa hats, I do them on these looms also, so that you make sure that that thing's going to fit tight enough on someone's head, because I noticed when I did it on the 48 peg, people were having a hard time keeping it on their head. So that's when I switched back to this loom to make the Santa hats, to make sure the band was tight enough that it would stay on their head. And now I've even shortened it more because the ones for Karen and Scotty are now, I start with 13 and then I go to 12 to 5. So they're even shorter. They come down to here now, you know, so they're not as long as the other ones that I have. I think I need to take a drink. And there's June Hansen. Glad to see you here. There we go. My throat was starting to get a little dry. All the talking I'm doing. Yeah, I'm just gonna, let's see here. Okay, that one needs to get over. There we go. The reason there's two different colors on this one, it's got those yellows, is because they broke. I have been using these so much. Is Christy Betts. Yes, there's Christy Betts. So good to see you, friend. Yes, I have shipped out Joy Bartlett's hat, and then I shipped out 3 hats to my sister in Washington State. One that's going to my sister Marilyn, one that's going to my sister Bernadette, and her husband Wayne. And then for 4 Scrubbies, or not Scrubbies, but coasters are going to them also. Getting this. I don't even know how many rows I've done on this so far. But I can definitely say one thing, because I'm so used to having such a much thicker yarn on these, that this feels kind of too lightweight, but I know it won't be, because this will be a reversible hat. Yes, it'll be a little bit thinner, but if someone that's in a not as cold climate as I am in Missouri, they'll still be able to wear this. How many pegs is on that one? I checked my green one and it says it's a 37. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 34, 35. It's got a 36 peg. So it's each company has their own. Yeah, and when you're doing these, it's got to be definitely an even number to be able to do them. Because it's their proprietary thing that each company has their own one. I kind of wish they would make them all the same, but they don't. Well, think of this. I'm thinking that with your 37, instead of putting it here, is put it on your peg. Now, and then wrap around. It might make a bigger gap concerning that. It still might end up working, because you can end up, instead of having your yarn start here, is put it on there and doing it that way. You'd have to try it out and see if it would work. And see what would work. I kind of wish that they would make them all the same, but they don't. Let's see how many I got on here now. It's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've only got 9 rows and 15 minutes. But like I said, I'm going to set this aside, and I'm not going to work on it. I may end up, I might end up getting it where it's up to the 25 and then let it sit. So then the next 25 we do, and you guys can see what it looks like. But you can see how more open. Well, yes, you will be able to see this one being done. And I think you guys know that I go live every other, but with this going on, I might change that and go live next week. We'll see how I'm feeling about that. You know, I'll definitely let you guys know, because then you can sit and watch me make this one. Like I said, I'll probably go up to the 25 and you'll be able to come back and you see how much more open the 3-ply is on here. It's very thin. Hi, Ruby at Rushing Wind Mountain. Thank you for coming in. I am making a reversible hat with this yarn. I'll show you this is the colors that are on this. We'll see all the different colors that are going to be on this. I am not sure if Simple Acre Farms will be going live today. But I know that they usually go live after me at 3 o'clock, and they're in Canada. And then after that is Hippie Cow Yay is usually next, and I know at 4 o'clock also if Whistle Stop Homestead. I don't know if he's going to be going live today, but he usually goes at 4 o'clock also. Then at 5 o'clock, oh, there's Robbie. It's okay, Robbie. You're busy, and I know that you've been trying to harvest on projects outside. I have zero signal outside. Yeah, I understand. So I don't know if Simple Acre Homestead's going to be going live. And then at 4 o'clock, like I said, is Hippie Callier, and Whistle Stop Homestead is Ed. And then at 5 o'clock is oh my gosh, I've forgotten their channel name. Nobody, so far nobody has told me they weren't. So what is oh shoot, I can't think of their channel name right now. Money Pit, thank you. Money Pit Homestead at 5, and then at 6 o'clock is Wild Huckleberry, the Wild Huckleberry. And then they're at 6. I think they're at 6. And then at 7 is Dyer Family Farm. And then I think at 8 is Dyer Family is at 7. And then at 8 is Red Dirt Rooster Road. Did I get them all right? Yeah, Red Dirt Rooster Road is at 8 o'clock. I kind of first start the Sunday homestead, because sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit of a homesteader because I do make things. And in fact, this Thanksgiving, I wanted to let you guys know, yeah, Simple Acres will be going live. And thank you, Jane Doe, for bringing their link in here so that if people want to go over there, they can and get to know my friends that are in Canada. I don't know what part of Canada they're in, but I do know they are. And Nancy, I may end up next week because of this. I may go live and work on making this, working on this hat so that everybody can come back and be able to see this hat get finished. Because it's going to take like four lives to do this. I don't get as far as when I'm, talking and things like that. But you guys are in here and I feel like I need to talk and work on this beautiful, beautiful hat. I am so excited to be able to do this for you so you guys can see how these are made. But yeah, the first row is wrapped from behind and in front. So you have a drawstring to be able to close them. And it's the same way that I make the Scrubbies too, and it's a 24 peg. Yeah, I think so because I'm making things that are handmade. That's what kind of homesteaders do. Yeah, I think I'm part of the homesteading group. It's fascinating watching. Oh, thank you, Jane Doe. It's this feels so much because I'm not using a thicker yarn. It feels strange because I hadn't really made, yes, I have made them, but this yarn, this Medela is so soft. Very, very soft. Yes, I think I am a homesteader. I should say, yes, I am a homesteader. Homesteaders make things. They do things on their own place, it's. So I'm going to say I'm part of the homesteader family. I'll show you this. See how open this is? But when you put these together, it's probably going to be a lot lighter. It's not going to be as heavy, but it's still going to be warm. So each one of these will be 25 rows. And what I do is, now I won't be using these stitch markers, but these are my larger stitch markers that I use for making things. Putting the Santa hats together where the larger section is. And, well, man, an hour's almost gone by. But I think I'm going to, once I finish this row, I'm going to show the hats and scarf that I made for myself that's in the thumbnail so that the people that have come in can be able to see them. Just push this down. Getting a little bit tight. There we go. Let me show you what I'm putting this in. See this? I found this at the Habitat resale place, and I just really liked it, this basket. Makes it nice to be able to put things in there. But this is the reversible hat. This is a 4-ply, and this is a reversible. And this is a I think it's a acrylic wool blend. Trust me, this hat's going to be warm. There's this one. Let me move back a little bit. I'm going to be keeping these. And here's the other one that's a 4-ply. This is just the single 4-ply. This feels a lot cooler. Hi, Debbie Drock. And this is my very first, this is the first time that I have ever made a scarf on knitting needles. And this, oh, that feels itchy. Yeah. But it's pretty interesting because you see the X that's on there. This is just the way the pattern laid out. This is going to be a very nice warm scarf to be able to keep the cold out. I do not know what company this yarn came from because the tag was not with it. But let me show you this. This is the first scarf that I have ever made on long knitting needles. This is 30 inches or 30 chains that I did. So it was 30 that I did, and Nancy watched me make this, and all it is knit, a knit stitch, and that's it. I didn't do any knit and purl with this one. I just did knit. Yes, I do know how to do knits and purls. Yeah, it was just the way the yarn was. Had all those gray and white and black. It just made it really nice. And yeah, that is my very first scarf that I have ever done on knitting needles. I used a size 11 knitting needle for that because I didn't want it. I wanted it more airy and open because of it being a wool blend. You know, but yeah, try to find, if you can, looms that have even numbers of pegs for making these hats. You know, each company has their own size. Thank you, Christy Betts. This is going to be very interesting because you see the next color that's coming up. Once I get done with that, there is more colors in there. I'm looking at this and I'm guessing that that's in this area, and then whatever the next one will be that will come up to play for this hat. But yes, please go check out the other channels. And after Thanksgiving, it's supposed to get cool off again. It's been too warm to wear. Robbie at the Wild Huckleberry got a camouflaged orange hat, knitted hat for me, so that he can wear that when he goes out to hunt. And hi, Alicia. Autism is Mom. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And in fact, I'm not going to have a turkey for Thanksgiving. I and Auntie Jan came in, rocks and raccoons. Thank you all for coming in. But anyway, I'm going to be cooking a duck. Yesterday at the farmer's market, I picked up a duck. I have never cooked duck before, so I'm gonna look it up. But that's what Ronald and I will be having, duck and dressing. I'm also going to do some roasted vegetables that I have, carrots and other things like that I'm going to roast. I think that my brother and I are going to really enjoy our Thanksgiving and, doing some things. Yes, everybody, please remember. And yum duck sounds good. Someone told me I should have the duck at Christmas time, and I'm like, no. In fact, for Christmas, we're going to have T-bone steak. That's what I'm going to cook for my family. I have never had duck. I have duck pond behind my house. I enjoy feeding the ducks. Make sure you do not feed the ducks bread. Not good for them. Yeah, it that does make you think of into a Christmas Story, because they had goose, not duck. Chinese turkey or duck. Yeah, I have had people that have a hunter that brought me geese that he had harvested. I use bird feed. Good, because bread is not good to feed to ducks in the pond. I did not know that when I was a child, but I do know now. But thank you, everyone, for coming in, and go over and check out the other channels, and maybe you'll find a new friend to subscribe on YouTube. Yes, I found that out a few years ago. Yeah, thank you. It's honestly better to find these things out. You don't like Brussels sprouts? That's okay. Some people don't, but my sister Judy, she taught me how to roast Brussels sprouts with onions and garlic cloves with olive oil on it. Oh my gosh. So good. But happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And I will let you guys know if I'm going to go live next week, so we can see how much more we can do on this hat so I can finish it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great day.